like a recap. I mean, for those who missed on I mean who didn't really catch up to the first AMA, and also for the new update you have in regards to MetFX. So first of all, maybe to the new people here, um, welcome everyone as well to Gold Digger. In here we have AMAs with amazing projects, unique projects, and we also offer widely spot and giveaways. But today we have MetFX. Actually an amazing project to look forward to, where you can watch and earn, an application where you can watch and earn and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of things in store in regards to MetaFX. And with me as well, I have Alvin. He's actually the CEO of MetaFX. And with me as well, I have Greek, who's going to be my co-host for today. Greek, you want to say hi to Alvin?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we do.
Hey, how you doing, Greek?
All right. So, yeah, I'm very well, Alvin. So Caleb, just to chip this in, when you usually try to kick off your AMEs, you always come with these intros, and I'm like, okay, are we going to sing the national anthem, and all of these things? So it's really nice to be here.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, Alvin, maybe do you want to? I know you. I mean, like, do you want to share your screen? Maybe show your face or something, or you fine with just the voice?
Not right now. I mean, I do it in my VC chat. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
so unappropriate right now. I'm like dragging like really, really hard. I mean, you guys really I'm dragging hard, like super hard right now.
No,
Shoot.
I mean it's fine. It's fine. You don't have to. I mean, you've been doing it for the past couple of days, and you might as well
Yeah.
do it today as well. But I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just asking. So maybe
Oh
you
yeah.
may want to. Yeah, you may
I'm
want
just
to introduce. Yeah,
I
you
might
may want
scare
to.
people. Like, oh, I'm not gonna invest with that guy, you know? It's like,
Oh my God. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you want to tell us about you and, maybe a little bit back of your experiences and how you get involved with MetaFX and stuff like that. So probably the new base investors and the new ones we have here as well.
I think, me personally, I think, with my life experiences and things like that, I've always wanted to see people come up. It's just one of those things where, I don't like to ride by myself, you know. Um, and I think um it really just turns me on to see me where I could, impact someone's life, especially the things that I do. Um, I have a passion for kids. I got passion for the people that are unfortunate, and it's something that I do. Like I go to third world countries. Well, I'm not going to say third world, but countries are that are not as fortunate as people here in the United States. I think we're very spoiled, and we don't appreciate the little things like the running water. We see kids when I go to they're I see kids sleeping on the streets, and it's something that I do on a yearly basis where we go back home to the Philippines, and we reach out to the kids, and we're like packing up a lot of goodies. I mean, we reach out to areas where it's like 1,000 children. It's it's a good feeling to know that to give back. And I think when it comes down to a project like this, I want people to make money. I want people to change their stars, and then if I could do that through a project where people can make money, then you know that's awesome. That's where I get to kick off. I've had successful businesses, where I've hired an office of 40 people, and we're doing $10 million in sales. And I get to see people where they come up to me and they thank me. It's like when I go to the office, it's like, oh bro, where you going right now? Oh man, we're gonna be putting in a new floor in our house. And you know that's what kicks me off. That's what turns me on. I've been doing this for such a long time, and um, when it comes down to MetFX, I want people to make money. I want to see people change their stars. It's sometimes with me, it's not always about money, and I think my crew knows that. They know that I'm, one to share. You know, just something experience. I'll give you something short. There was a project where um I actually earned about 5% on a uh $5 million deal, for a particular company, and I gave away 3% of that. Just because I want to see people come up. You know, and could have could I kept it all for myself? Yeah, I could have. But I didn't even. I didn't even think about it. It doesn't even flinch to me. That amount of money that I'm sharing with other people. You know, and just so that you know who I am. I work so hard at this. It's been these last 4 months where I'm literally sacrificing a lot of my time for this project, and it's owed to I owe to the people who got us to this point, especially the people who invested in the seed cell, and the people who are investing now, you know, and I'm obligated, because if it wasn't for the people who invested into the project, none of us wouldn't even be here. None of our mods would be here. None of the staff that we have in the back uh, wouldn't be here. They're, you know, yeah, so, as far as, people invest in the coin, I could assure you that I'm putting every energy into this. You can hear me. I'm dragging, but what keeps me going is the people's investments. So that's just a little bit about me. But as far as MetaFX goes, it was something that I seen as a business model, and I was looking at you know streaming videos, and I was looking from play to earn games, and move to earn, and all these different folks of just wanting to earn, and no one really hasn't really done the movie industry. And I've seen the numbers of just how much money they generate um, through that platform. So why not tokenize it, share those profits from what you earn? And so that's how it came about. At first, we were coming out with the metaverse where you can actually watch movies in the metaverse. And so, it took some time to, get the licensing and things like that. And I was talking to, the company, and, these are the things that I had to do. Getting licensing for the movie, I think, has been one of the questions of, Alvin, do you have it? And I do. I do have the licensing for it. So once I already knew that I was able to obtain that licensing, based that I'm registered, and they had to do credit checks, and they had to do all these little things. Once I knew that I got that, I already knew that I was gonna do that on the second phase of our project, of our ecosystem. But we changed things around. We needed to adapt, because there were so many metaverse projects that were out there that we were going to create something that was going to be super big with when it came down to the metaverse. We were thinking about, okay, I was talking to the devs, and we were like, okay, are we going to have this treasure hunt? What's going to make ourselves unique about our metaverse? Can you win prizes? And so we came up with a treasure hunt where things would have been in the form of an NFT, and where people can scavenger hunt through our metaverse, and when they find things like an NFT, they would be able to win. And I came from, the Amazon business by selling products online, and I knew that if I worked with so many merchants, they give out these free products, just to get reviews. Well, why don't I tap into that network and create something where there is a message board, a board where they will know what all the prizes are going to be coming out this week. So we knew that would actually can work and win. and being something that's going to be different, that would just not just cater to the people who are in crypto, but also can reach out to those who are not into crypto, but yet they're still exploring the metaverse. So we changed up, we looked at the financials and we were like, okay, the market right now, when we seen Steppen and what they did, we were like, wait a minute, we can come out with our watch to earn application. And so that's basically what we did. And we've been, we've seen a lot more of attraction, um, with the influencers, and so, here we are. We worked at it. We got the application. We're in that testing phase where we've been giving it out to people, just to find if there's any bugs and this kind of stuff. So, the application is there. So we get some of the feedback. Okay, we need to work on this, you need to work on that. Then I bring it back to the developer, and they're in that phase of fixing any types of the bugs. But as far as that, we're going to be able to launch this before launch, and we know that we need to do additional upgrades to the application that we want to do, just because some of the ideals that people were throwing at us to make us a lot more different. So, we're here, we're at that stage where we're going to be doing some incredible stuff to bring a lot of brand recognition and just getting our name. I think one of the things that we're doing is we're going to tackle, since we already have our metaverse, and we have that one, Sky City that we have. We're gonna be using that as the landing location for people to come into our metaverse, and we have these portals that will portal them into a whole new another world, and that's gonna be our watching movies into the metaverse. But what we're tackling first is we're gonna be showing AMAs in our metaverse, and we have a lot of projects, that are talking to us that want to use our metaverse to host other people's projects. But just imagine, no one's really ever done that before, where you can host an AMA and um, you know, bring these projects to people, but not just in the form of just Telegram, not in just the form of a Discord or Twitter Space, but why not do it in the metaverse where you can have your own character, and we could streamline that on YouTube. We could streamline it on YouTube, on Telegram, and all of these streaming that has video platform. So basically, we truly believe that that's what's going to make noise. We also, went ahead and talked to Chad, and I was like, Chad, I want to come out with a documentary. I think, if we come out with a documentary about Rugged, I think a lot of people in the crypto space would want to download our application and actually watch, the film about, the dark space of this place. And, yeah, does it bring, awareness, and education? And so the follow up with that is you have your user base that's there, you would come out with a crypto 101 where people can actually learn about crypto. So we're going to be installing these things in our streaming application, but we truly believe that coming out with a documentary would really bring a lot of attention, especially if you bring that to Web3, where actually people can actually watch it. You know, we also knew that anime movies were going to be a big thing, since that there's going to be 2 billion people that watch anime movies. So I talked to my account manager. I was like, we need to get anime movies in our library. And basically, she says, Alvin, we could definitely get the anime movies, and also I can get them too as well if I go directly to the studio house. The only thing is that I just have to pay for the licensing, whether if I just paid for 1 month, and so that's how the licensings work. It's based on region, it's based on how many months you want it. If you look if you are part of a, streaming application like, let's say, Netflix, you'll see movies that come in, they come out, they come in, they come out. And so that's how that actually works. So can we bring anime movies to our streaming app and into the metaverse? Yes, 100%. And so we're doing these things that are, it's not like super groundbreaking per se, but we would be the first to do it. And that's our goal, is to have all these ideals and actually come to light. And I think it's really going to bring a lot of noise to the platform. So we've been thinking, and all the brainstorming stuff that we can do to uh, get us really, really known out there for our platform and this ecosystem that we're building. Just the fact that you come out with a documentary, on your streaming app, that you're going to be coming out with watching anime movies in the metaverse and other movies too as well. Having AMAs in the metaverse, just utilizing that platform and bringing on a board people who want to share their project, and it's going to bring their community also, and seeing, and it could be potential investors. People are going to know. It's like, this space. It's like everyone knows who golems are. And that's just the whole thing, is everyone, we want to make it where everyone knows who MetFX. But see, the thing is that MetFX is just not a place where you can just hold an AMA in the metaverse. We also are a token ecosystem that's uh, it's based on watching movies in the metaverse in the streaming app, and then eventually getting on to having our app on Roku, and having our app on TV, as far as like the Samsung store. So um, we have that ecosystem where it becomes very, very scalable. Understanding the industry and why I personally am thrilled about it is because you don't see it can withstand. Watching movies is, like I said, tell people, it's part of our lifestyle. It's the things that we do on our own time to kind of like have time for ourselves, or we do it with our significant other, we do it with our family. It's always been part of our lifestyle in one way or another, and if I had to compare it to play to earn games, it's very niche. Not everyone could do play to earn games, you know. It's only catered for people who are gamers, right? And then you have people who do move to earn. Not everyone moves, and but what's great about our platform, our ecosystem, everybody watches movies. So why not get paid for what you do already, you know? And the good thing, and thing that I want to convey is, you don't really have to participate, uh, you know, in the watch to earn protocol. You don't. You could just easily download our application, and you could just choose what movies you watch. So a lot of people ask, well, how do you monetize? Well, the monetization comes through advertising, and those terms that they use is, there's AVOD and there's really SVOD, and you could have the hybrid of having both. So what AVOD is really, it's advertising video on demand, which is really taking storm right now. We're seeing companies like Pluto and uh, Netflix is entering into it, but we see Pluto, and we see also companies like Tubi, who are in the United States, and they're generating $700 million ad revenue. That's just the ad revenue. So do people mind watching watching commercials? They don't mind, because a lot of the movies, there's so much, thousands of movies in the library, that literally, when you look at Tubi, they have a lot of martial arts and a lot of 80s movies. So they tapped into that niche of that video industry that you would normally wouldn't find on Netflix and Hula, you know. And so we follow that business model, and we're taking that business model to Southeast Asia, which is the AVOD model, which is advertising video on demand. Then you have the subscription, which is SVOD, subscription video on demand. So the thing is will MetFX ever get to that point where do we want to get into subscription? And we do want to get into the subscription part of it because there are people out there who don't want to watch commercials at all as they're, watching movies. So we're definitely going to be tapping into that, um, that area of the business, which we end up becoming a hybrid. Now, will we start expanding our platform to other things? Where can you watch sports? Can you watch local news? Can you, tap into different networks? Can we have, HBO and Showtime and things like that? Yeah, those are pretty easy to do, you know. Um, it's just about getting the licensing. And I think that what people really have to understand is that it's very hard to fork what we do. Now, either you're going to lie to people and say, oh, yeah, we're going to get movies and all that kind of stuff. If they can do it, then that's great. But it's still yet that's hard because why haven't anyone thought about this? And it's very difficult to get the licensing. And the fact that MetaFX is at that point has the licensing to actually show movies that people are people are familiar with. So our range of movies, we have Bollywood movies that I can access to, Korean movies, Nollywood, um, of course, Hollywood, uh, Chinese movies. So will we eventually expand on all those movie selections for each country? Yeah, we will. We have that. But we really have to study the culture. And, just because you have a big library of Chinese movies doesn't mean that the audience is going to watch those Chinese movies. They may want to love watching, Korean movies. Like, it's funny, people in the Philippines, it's like when I went there, everyone's all totally up onto Korean movies, Korean drama, and so when we enter into a particular country, and we're going to, market really hard towards that country, we have to study the culture and what they like to watch. But the fact of the matter is that we have that library of showing different ethnicities of movies, especially in the Hollywood industry. So, when you look at our project, is it one to, make a quick buck, or is it that long-term one? Is it that one that everyone's been waiting for, or one of the many of those that can actually change your life? Look at all the people who got into Step-In. It was a move to earn project. Look at that community. They're stoked that their market cap went up to 2 billion. It changed people's lives. You know, so could we be that one token, that one project that can really change people's lives? And I think because we're the first, I think that we are capable of doing that. And it's because through our marketing team, because I always tell people, look, when you're gonna look at a token, you have to really look at who's the people that is part of the marketing team that can actually push, you know, and have the connections to get this coin onto the next level. Which means, higher market caps influencing. But, what also matters too is your product that you're selling, And so I truly believe that we have both. We have the marketing team and we have the utility. And it's different. It's not something that, um, I don't think that no one's going to do what we're about to do. And so, here we are today, ready to launch within the next, have our public sale within the next 5 hours. So we have a lot of stuff in store because a lot of there's a lot of projects that have been reaching out to MetFX that want to partner up with us, especially with their particular project. And I was always asking me, what is it that we have that's why? Why do people are calling and say, Al, can we have our AMA? Can we partner up and have an AMA in the metaverse? And I can see why, because that's something that's fresh, that's going to be something new. It could turn into not just having AMAs, but actually having podcasts in there, bringing in special guests, people who are influencers that know about cryptocurrency, something that, we're talking about something that's related, and that kind of stuff. So, I truly believe that we have something that's special for us, for other groups that want to partnership with us, is because we have that streaming application. Think about it. If a crypto project wanted to tap into a user base of, it could be 20 million people, it could be 10 million people that could be subscribing to our platform because we're free. It's just the fact that we're a free streaming application. The fact is that when you have that type of a user base, right, you can advertise, and we can advertise crypto projects, and so I understand why they're trying to build that relationship with us. One of the things that I know for a fact we're going to do for Gold Diggers is when you have a crypto 101 and people want to learn more about crypto, one thing about is you want to be part of a community. And when you advertise, about learning about crypto, then it becomes the community aspect of where am I going to place myself in such this big world? They have groups for traders, right? And so that's how that works. This is the partnership that we're going to have, is to help build that home for people that want to learn cryptocurrency, but also be part of a group. And so, there's going to be a section in our application where we do partnerships, something that I actually kind of learned from one of the partnerships that we're about to create with another company, in the telecommunication company. And I was looking at their application. I was just like, wow, you're partnering up with this, and this particular application and that application. So it becomes cross promotion. And so we feel that, by doing the crypto 101 thing and putting up the community for Gold Diggers, they could find a place and home, where they can actually meet people who are, into trading, and so that's how that, partnership works, and things that me and, Caleb is going to be talking about, because you got to remember, we're going to be having AMAs in our metaverse with other projects. And the thing is that we're vetting projects for sure, 100%. We have to keep that qualityness there. We don't want to be having, projects in the metaverse not knowing that they're a vetted project, that knowing that they're not vetted. And we have to bring that vetting part into it, because we don't want our user base, we don't want to lose that user base. And I think that if you bring projects that where people it's trusted and they have that marketing aspect to it, to know that it can go somewhere. Those are the kind of projects we want to bring, are the ones that we know that it's vetted. We know that they have a strong marketing team, and knowing that it's a safe project for people to, invest into, provided that you still have to do your research. But we want to bring quality and not quantity, because sometimes, yeah, it's money, but not all money is good money. So you have to think about your user base, your fan base that you have that is literally subscribed. I think I know that other groups are doing this, and I see this trend where it's not all good money is not, all money is not good. People out there are really starting to vet projects in the BSC space where I need to see your project if I really want to share it with my community, even if you're a call group, you know. And so I feel that we need to take upon that too as well, because I think a lot of people are sick and tired of losing money in this game because of projects, and I think projects needs to be a lot more. There needs to be more of a more of a vetting process to bring to share those projects within your community. Even though it's still do your own research. So by doing this thing with our platform that we're building, I feel like we're gonna really, really make some serious noise in this space. Just the fact that we have that strong business model to know that um, where that source of income is coming from. We're starting to see more companies now entering into the crypto space that has a true business model where that money is being generated from, and then you're not being dependent on um, you're not dependent on your NFT platform to generate that income. So, we definitely see a shift in change. We're dealing with a company, well, not me, but, the people that I know, like Mr. B and Crypto Kid, they're dealing with serious projects that have serious backing, that has real partnerships. When you're dealing with a football team and things like that, but like I said, going back to the platform, going back to our ecosystem, we just believe that we have that X factor where we have that sustainability and that source of income that can really make the company truly profitable, where we can pump that money back into the ecosystem to expand the platform and to reach. And by doing so, you're going to have that long-term effect, but you're going to have that stability when it comes down to what your charts. We're not dependent on the market condition to do well, because everyone watches movies. And when you subscribe, or you're used to a certain platform, you're always going to go to that. And so, like I said, what's great about this entire ecosystem, not because that we have that scalability and that innovation to really bring bring real popularity to our metaverse and to our platform. Um, it's really the monetization that we have, you know. And so, um, like I said, it's part of our lifestyle. It's not gonna go away. You find me a person who doesn't watch movies, and I'll give him $100, but you'll never, you won't find. I have not found one person yet who doesn't watch films, and so this is what's great about our project, is that it's, like I said, it's been part of our lifestyle since we were young. So that's MetFX for you. This is what we're bringing to the crypto space, you know.
Yeah, Alvin, I wanted to say, first of all, can you give me the $100 because I don't watch movies? Anyway, it's really really cool, and I've been having this question in mind for a long period of time, but I'm happy I just got to remember it right now. I just want to ask you a quick. I mean, looking at what MedFX is it's building, and looking at the utilities behind the project. I mean, I know you can easily, on a blue day, maybe have a streaming app and start showing up movies maybe for free, and people can earn profit in different ways aside from getting involved with crypto. But I was kind of thinking, why did you have to, showcase this on the crypto space? I mean, you could easily just have your application, get this as the way Netflix did theirs and stuff like that. And so I'd just like to know why you decided to get this involved into the crypto space.
Well, number one is, to be honest with you, I'm here. I never really want to. It starts off with, how do I say? I've always wanted to create my own project, you know, and being in this space, you know, um, I've never. I'm the type of person that I'm not a follower. I have to lead. I'm sorry, but I do. It's always been my nature to do so, and I'm so fascinated by this space. Um, this whole world of
This
cryptocurrency.
MetFX
Um, but could have I done this? No, not really, to be honest with you, because there's that element of the metaverse. There's this part about the metaverse and tying it in is I felt like, you're bringing both worlds, because really metaverse is really surrounded by cryptocurrency, you know, a lot of it is. And so when you joint those two together, um, especially with the streaming application and you have the metaverse and you're tokenizing it, you become different than the other competitors. And so, could have I done that? I don't think I would have been competitive at all, with the ideals that we have, you know, like showing AMAs in the metaverse, you know, um, you're talking about watch to earn, sharing those profits uh, with the user base. And it's kind of hard because, if you try to do that in the real world, it takes time to, help build that monetization, but you'll eventually get there. But I felt like it was a lot more easier to do something like this. Like I have a lot of, I do a lot of things as far as business goes. Me and my partner, we do a lot. Like I said, I do a lot of, reverse engineering, kind of stuff, and we sell our products on Amazon. But when it came down to, with the streaming application, I just kind of knew already that you can't really do that on your own. You can't do that in the real world. And what's really going to make us stand out, So that's why this type of an ideal, like I come up with all kinds of ideals, to be honest with you, but this one really actually stood out, the most, you know, could have I came out with, you know, there's so many, F it. I don't, I'll share it, forget it. If someone takes the ideal and they could run with it, and you could do it successfully, sure. You know, um, there was things like, you know, Meta University. Could you have, I won't get into that part. Let me just focus in on the platform. With those ideals, it's like, those were like really, really bullish ideals, but,
Mhm.
I come up with a lot of stuff, but this one really, really stand out because we just knew that that business model was there, but that was one of the reasons why we didn't want to do this from like on the outside world. You know, I just knew like this would be perfect for cryptocurrency because of the trend of move to earn and I don't know, dream to earn. They're coming out with crazy stuff, having sex to earn and all that. I was just like, okay, those are just gimmicks. That's just not really reality. Like, how are you really going to monetize from that? Really. It's just one of those gimmicks that people are just going to buy in. It'll be that quick buck, and then, you'll get people who will win, people who will lose. But I knew for a fact that if I'm going to build something, I better darn well going to make some money. I'm not going to waste my time doing this stuff, for kicks and giggles for, a quick buck. If I'm going to build something, I'm 50 years old. If I'm going to build something, I want to build something strong. I want to be known for someone who built something that was strong and leave, a footprint behind, knowing that that project, that I started, you know, went to so many $1 million of market cap, and at the same time, it impacted people. I would have been loved to be that the people that was behind. You know, Steppen. I thought that was awesome. Whoever was the creator of that particular platform really impacted a lot of people's lives, and he made a name for himself in this industry. And so that's where I want to go. It's not about the money. It's sometimes it's that glory. It's what you leave behind that people are going to remember you of. You know, it's something that I've always told my mom. I said, I told my mom, I was like, man, you make so much money. What are you doing? What are you gonna leave behind, Mom? I was telling her, what are you gonna leave behind? Are you gonna be known who just made all this money, or are people are really gonna remember you because you somehow gave back? You know. And so it was funny because my mom, it was a trip because my mom was just like, you know what? I'm sending all my nephews to school. So, my mom left a legacy, for her and her family for the things that she does. So I've learned, um, I've just learned how to give back, and I'm kind of like going off to the left here, just because I'm dragging with my thoughts. But you know, this is the reason, for MetFX is it's not just about the money; it's also that legacy that you could leave by, where my kids can be proud of something that I built, and I leave footprints, on the internet that I built. I created something that was awesome, and people made money, and it reached to higher market caps. I have that vision of wanting to be like Roku, who's at a $10 billion market cap. you know Hulu is at a $50 billion market cap, and then you have the big dog, the one who dominated this space, who at one point was at, I think, $250 million market cap. And so you see that stability in the movie industry. And so this is the reason why uh, we have this ecosystem that we have today.
I mean, it's really amazing that you come up here and you're speaking about what's going to benefit people in a long period of time. This alone shows that you're not just here to make a couple of bucks, or you don't want people just be here to make a couple of bucks. You want them to look at this in a long period of time. And I think coming up with this idea is actually one of a brave one. And like you said earlier, a lot of us in here watch movies. I mean, you might not be so obsessed with watching movies, but at some part of the time, you might want to keep yourself busy, or you might want to take your girlfriend out. Different occasions where you get to watch movies. So I believe this alone, it shows that this is gonna be, because in the next 50, 30 years to come, people are still gonna keep on watching movies. That's the truth. It's never gonna stop. So I mean, I really love the fact that you came up with this idea. And talking about it getting involved with the crypto world, we all know that the space is here to stay. And we also love the fact that people are getting to start implementing something that's gonna keep the space trending. Imagine people who are watching movie who doesn't really know much about the crypto space, they themselves are going to get involved, because they can know that, well, once I get involved, I can start watching. Not just watching, I can as well start earning just from watching a movie for free. So I mean, in my opinion, I feel like it's actually a great idea, because it's going to help people in a long period of time. Our future kids, they're going to get involved too. So I mean, I really love the fact that you're able to think about this idea, because it's really one of the great ones. But I'd like to ask you one more question, Alvin. And I know that you've been coming up with the application, and you say it's going to be available during the launch. So are there going to be certain countries that are going to get involved with the movie or with streaming the application? Because talking about movies, it's worldwide. You don't want to, get one country involved and the other one, out of this. So I'd like to know, is this going to be available in all countries? I mean, I just want you to expand more about that.
Well, you know, the truth of the matter is, you know, we have to ask ourselves, why didn't Tubi, who generates so much money, add revenue? Why haven't they expanded to other countries? And you have to understand, it took I think Netflix about 12 years to have that worldwide, you know, audience to have. And I think it's strategic that because it does cost money to have a license to be worldwide. And it's just one of the facts. And so no one hasn't really done this in the Southeast Asia. Um, and maybe they do. I haven't really discovered them, you know. But so far, I haven't really found anything. And by bringing that to Southeast Asia and doing that concentration, I think a lot of the people there in Southeast Asia is really going to be clicked onto, you know, going to be hooked onto what we're going to bring as far as our ecosystem. But having a worldwide audience, it's not feasible to do it. Um, you know, it's very, very expensive to do so. And but the way that you can, you know, you can do it is if you're coming from the United States, then you would just have to use like a VPN to tap into the network. The reason for we haven't, I have the licensing I could get the licensing easily to be in the United States. But now, you know, there's so many different regions when it comes down to licensing. You know, each licensing for a particular you know, region can cost, you know, $20,000 a month. I mean, per country, you know. And the fact that, you know, I was able to cut a deal to get to Southeast Asia, we're talking about how many people here? You're talking about China, you're talking about yeah, yeah, India, you're talking about Philippines. Look at the population. It's how much more bigger than the United States combined. You know, it's so, you know, from a business perspective, why not just start there and concentrate there and then round robin back to United States? You got to understand, you know, United States, you know, we're spoiled out over here, like literally. Um, you have what? Netflix, you have Hula, you have Paramount, you have Tubi, you have Pluto, you have Roku. So for us to be competitive in the United States, we have to have uh, an incredible movie library. There's also IDMB, which is owned by Amazon. So, you know, we have to come back and bring something different, and we're going to evolve tremendously um, as the months goes by, so that we can actually round robin back to the United States. As far as you know, our platform, our ecosystem, we want to bring something that's new. We want to bring things that are, you know, haven't really been done before, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, that's one of the main reasons why we don't have that worldwide audience, is because it's cost, you know. But we're lucky to cut that deal to have that Southeast Asian. I think that we're gonna do phenomenal there, especially when we're gonna start off in the Philippines, because they are really heavy into um these earning type of ecosystems. I think when you look at Axie Infinity, you know, from my understanding, it really helped the country out during COVID times, you know, and, you know, kudos to Axie Infinity for doing that. And so it's become very, very popular. We ran our Facebook ads and we were able to get a lot of inquiries about how we can get involved. I mean, people that were in people that weren't familiarized with crypto was coming into the Philippines chat room. It was like, how do I get started kind of deal. So, you know, we already see how we can be really successful in the Philippines and branching out to the other countries and really concentrating on those businesses, and I can get that to a little bit later. But really concentrating on that geographic, and I think to us it's the smartest thing to do. Is when you have a country that really is involved into these type of earning, why not stick there and just concentrate really really hard on promoting it, rather than trying to thin yourself out, trying to promote it in this country, that country, this country, and that country, you know, because it comes down to movie selections and what type of movies that they like to watch, you know. And so, that's how we're doing it. And I think from a business perspective, I think it's the right thing to do. But will we have that licensing to do it worldwide? Sure. That's always going to be the case. That's always going to be on the plan. Why stick to just one when you can capture the entire world to have that streaming application that has something that's different from the rest, or we find that niche um, that we bring. Because you got to remember, there's thousands of movies that come aboard, but then also the way that we tap into another section of this movie industry is, what about those people who have independent films and they can't even get on Netflix? They can't get on Hulu. They could find a home with MetFX and actually tokenize, actually mint their movies as in the form of NFTs. With NFTs, we see it evolving, not just becoming this 2D art, 3D art anymore. We're seeing it becoming, into the comic books. It's starting to becoming into the music, where it's becoming, being minted on the blockchain in the form of an NFT. We've seen that with many different artists. So it's going to come to that point where it's going to start being minted at an NFT, and I think they're already doing that. But because we're niche, we could draw those people in to our platform, to have their movies being shown on our streaming application, but also they can have that Genesis story by selling it in the form of an NFT, and have that uniqueness to it, because only a certain amount is being sold, you know, because of the artwork. So, as far as MetaFX, we covered a lot about monetization and expansion and, you know, just scaling the business, in itself, like SVOD and AVOD, so, um, I think we have it. I think I truly believe that we're gonna make some serious, um, we're actually gonna be, uh, we're gonna be looked as attracted. Every AMA that I've done, there's nothing that anyone says. They think that it's innovative. They think that it's interesting in terms of what we're doing. We're not just some BUSD reward, type of token or a DAO token, you know. Um, if you looked at, let's say, the first DAO who did it was Olympus DAO who did it. They were the first to do it. That's why they were able to reach, like, I don't know, like $2 billion market cap. Look at Steppen. They went up to $2 billion market cap because they were the first. You look at Drip, where it's at today, because they were the first to come out with that. And so here we are today with MetaFX, one of the first to bring movies to the metaverse and to do it on a streaming application where you have that true licensing to really show movies. And so, I'm hoping to be that that token that reaches up to $1 billion market cap and beyond, and actually hold it there, because they do the study, they see how well these streaming applications do, to hold the value of their token, or to hold the value of their application, their project, So here we are, you know. I don't know much
Yeah,
more I can say, but these are the facts. When you're the first to do something, that's when you start making noise. Decentraland was like 5 years ago. They were like one of the first to do what they're doing, and now people are actually trying to catch up. But they were actually was the first, and look how well they did. Look at Axie Infinity. They weren't the first to do. I think they. Well, I don't. I couldn't tell you if they were the first, but they were actually one of the successful um, gaming tokens. I think to me, I don't know if they were the first. I think so. I mean, you had games that were like battle card games. What was that battle card games that was so popular at one point? They were the first and they did phenomenal. But then when Axie Infinity came into the scene, they just took over that whole game, and then we started people wanting to fork it, what they were doing. But and the ones they're not doing as successful, like gaming tokens now, we see it all over now, right? We see tremendous. How are they doing? Could you compare them? What Axie? Well, the reason why Axie was so successful was because they were one of the first, to do it. So, it's just giving you some perspective of just where this project can actually go to is because we're going to be one of the first. So,
I mean
still got to do
that's
your research, but still, the first.
yeah, I think that's what makes it unique, and we're not expecting to have everything available at the same day, or we're not expecting everything available in a month. We also love the fact that when it comes to projects like this, I mean, bringing out something new to the space, we expect it as a slow, should I say, slow upgrade. With time we're gonna get everything. So like we were mentioning earlier, you said MetFX is gonna be focusing mostly on the Asian part. I mean, for the app being available, that's understandable. And the reason why I had to bring this up is because I know that a lot of people might be thinking, well, I wish I can just download this app probably on my app store right now, or on my Play Store to start watching movie for free and stuff like that. Because I know a lot of people might be thinking about it. That's why I had to bring that in regards to them. But that's understandable. I mean, we're not expecting to have the application available in all countries right now because I believe there are a lot of people here from different places of the world, and they may want to participate in using the application in their various countries. But it's very, very understandable that it's gonna take time, and it's true, it is getting something like this unique and like you said, it's very, very expensive, and it's gonna take time because as long as MedFX is here to stay, it's surely gonna get to its destination. I mean, that's what I want to say in regards to the application. Then I just want to point out something in regards to the metaverse. You did mention having like having like an AMA on metaverse. I mean, I've never seen something like that before, and I think it's actually something amazing, being able to have an AMA on the metaverse, and stuff like that. But I just want you to elaborate more about that, Alvin. I mean, how is that going to be possible? I mean, I do have an idea, but to people here who really don't have much idea in regards to that, I mean, how's that going to work out?
Well, I mean, it's not, the technology's, there to streamline it, like, being on Web3. We see that now, happening with, concerts in the metaverse. You know, um, we see metaverses where, people can walk around, you can hear them, you can talk to them, you can hear from your computer, you know. So the way that really, really works is we have the only thing that we really need to do is just build the stage. We want it to be interesting. You think I want to roll up, like, let's say if I was the host, right? Which really I really can't be, because I don't really have that character, like that podcast kind of character. But you want to bring, just imagine, you're showing up in AMA, you have that character, and a little bit touch about the character. You're gonna start seeing um, characters start being celebrity, in the metaverse. And so people will start recognizing your character as if you were like in the real world. And so, when you host these AMAs, you're going to be able to, streamline this across all the streaming platforms where people can actually watch. Uh, Not just something where you just like we're doing right now, we're just hearing each other, but it brings that movement, that visual of seeing, a character talking to, you being the host, and them being the people who are sharing the project, and they're talking, and things could be happening. Like for me, I could be rolling up, coming in the metaverse with, you know t- a flying dragon for all I care, just shooting the ideal. But it's going to be different, in terms of the way that we're going to do it. And it's because it's the visual aspect of it. It's because it's related to, crypto. And I think that by doing that, it's going to create some noise. And that's what we want to do. We want to create that FOMO effect. And I really truly believe it's going to be that FOMO. Like, whoa, you know, AMAs in the metaverse. Like, how is that going to be? And if you could visualize it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Being that character and them there, and just posting it in there. It's just going to bring something new, and it's going to bring that visual effect to it. And you could bring all these other elements into it too, as well, because in the metaverse, you can design anything that you want it to be. You know, and so that's where the creativity in this part is going to have to kick in. I could have a bunch of freaking bored apes playing the band for all I care. Just to bring that NFT community in, having that band, just a bunch of apes, just, bored apes, even if I don't have the IP, it's just something that's related to that. I mean, there's so many different ideas of what we can do to make this thing so, interesting and so um, unique to it, and so instead of just having us able to talk, can we use that metaverse as a platform to host these projects that are coming into this space, and so that's why I said, that's it's something that's different. And when you do something that's different and unique, it's going to create that buzz. And when you have that buzz, people are going to look at what we're doing, and from there we monetize, not just by having AMAs, but we have potential uh, people to become investors into the project. So that's what it's all about to us, is how can we be different from what everyone else is doing? And to me, that's to us what's going to be the key to success for this platform, is being different and being innovative with our ecosystem. Like I told you, imagine we have that metaverse up and you could win rewards. Like find me a metaverse where you can go and treasure hunt and find things and you could win money, you know. I knew that I spoke about that, and I knew that one of our competitors is like, "Ah, man, they're trying to bite our idea," and we know that they're trying to fork or trying to copy. That's why they're in our AMAs, because they want to hear what we're planning to do. And I get it, I mean, it's business. I'm not going to hate, but it's just it's funny just how uh, as I speak about, oh, all of a sudden some other project is doing, and I know that they're following us, so it's good to me. I'm happy about it, that our ideals can be innovative to the point where another project is wanting to copycat what we're doing, you know, and it just shows you from the team in itself with our ideals. It's not me, the one who just come up with the ideals and stuff like that. It's really the team. I think Vic, our community. I don't know if you guys know Moby Vic, but he's our community manager. He brought a lot of ideals to what we're building here, and I can't take for, any of the credit. I can't take all the credit for it, you know. Even our mods, they're in our HQ, they are, some of them are, and they bring in their ideals to the table, you know. They get to share their ideals on what they see, that can make it a lot more better. But going back to what you're saying, Caleb, that's it's about being different and being innovative and bringing something that's new to us. That's what's going to cause that FOMO, that curiosity of having AMAs in the metaverse in our ecosystem.
That's definitely something unique, and like I said, I've never seen it done before. So with you guys trying to bring in something amazing like this to the space, I think it's really really unique because I mean we all just I mean, the places I know that mostly the AMAs have been done is Discord, Twitter Space, you know, Telegram AMAs, and probably some social medias on YouTube and stuff like that. But Metaverse, so I think it's something really really unique, and that's something we are all looking for. We want people to come out here and present something amazing, something different, something that's gonna help us in a long period of time, right? We're not just here for a short time. Of course, we're all here to make money, but are we here to make money for a short period of time? Or are we here to make money, to keep on helping probably our families, our friends, and take care of ourselves and stuff like that. So, I mean, I really love what you guys are building. But before I'm gonna proceed, Greg, do you have something to say to the team?
Can you? Okay, yeah, I think I'm audible. Yeah, so Alvin, you've literally touched on so many things, and then at some point, it appeared to me like it was a monologue, and you were just reflecting on all of the works that has been done, how you've been able to get to where you are, and it's really amazing to see how how much of those projects you know, I think personally, I feel this project is a reflection of who you are, your personality, and then it makes it something very amazing, something investable. Because I think good humans or good founders or good CEOs, would inevitably create good projects. And when you talked about the numbers, I looked up, the numbers on my screen, and I think in 2020, I think Disney Plus, I think they did a revenue of like $9.6 billion, and I think Netflix did, something a little bit higher than that in 2020. And I was just wondering if all of this, revenue was redistributed back to holders, how nice it would have been. And seeing what you're creating here, it's really amazing. So I think I have just two questions, yeah, for you. I think the first thing has to be on the user experience of the entire MetFX, the application now. How is the user experience going to be like? Because I think as humans, humans usually would, away from the earning now, for mass adoption, if the user experience is a little bit solid and something people like, I feel the adoption is going to be really massive. It's going to be really amazing. Like the case of Axie Infinity, even though people were earning so much money, I think the adoption was majorly because the game was playable, the game was enjoyable. So how is the user experience for for the app? Did you guys have like people test the app? Do you have results you can share?
Oh yeah, I mean, for sure we had testers. I gave it to Caleb for some reason he couldn't watch the movies, but we had people that were that I given it to, and I got that feedback from it, you know. And so, did they find little bugs and things like that? Oh yeah, most definitely. And we take those information back to our development team to fix those types of bugs that that are on that platform. So we're already in the process of coming out with version 2, which is going to have a lot more enhancements than being a basic, um, you know, basic application. So, we're seeing what we need to do to improve. We see that what we're going to actually put on there, um, our devs are already working on that. I've already told them some of the things that I want to be on the streaming application for it to be more attractable. And we're talking about, watching sports live, um, things like that, getting onto the local news because, in countries, um, people travel like 2 hours on the road, and what's going to keep them up to date with the news, making either sports, things like that. And so, that's what we're going to be bringing. But as far as the people who already, use it, it's playable for sure. You could definitely, watch movies. I mean, it's not a hard technology to do, but it's going to be the user experience of really it's not even so much the user experience. It's we took that we took Netflix's um how everything is pretty much set up the way that they have it set up, but we just wanted to make it very simple. We just want people like, you don't have to sign up if you just want to watch movies. That's the Netflix way. I mean, that's the Tubi way. You don't need to do signing up or anything. You just download and just choose what movies that you want to watch. But user experience and all that kind of stuff, it's really going to be the same as any streaming application. You'll just get a different UI. It depends on how easy it is to search for movies and the categorization and things like that. But what really makes the platform become cool is when we're I don't know if you guys are just looking at movies and I like that functionality is that the system can tell that you've been scrolling and it gives you that recommendation, or if you watched a certain film that you've been like watching like Western films, more Western films are going to come on up. And so those are kind of like the enhancements that we're going to start getting into, but we wanted to make sure that our framework from the beginning was gonna, of course, you're gonna have to have your beta testers, and that's what we did. And they haven't really given me like, oh, Alvin, it's not user friendly or anything like that. They just found like certain bugs, like for instance, they're searching a movie with the letter A or something, and it some reason goes back to your home screen. So that's a bug that actually needs to be fixed. So it was good that we rolled out for beta testers to test it out before it finalizes um, onto the Android store and the iOS. The Android store, it only takes like about 24 to 48 hours for it to show up. So right now they've already approved us. All we need to do is just to give the photos for the Google Play Store. You have to have like a minimum of five what do you call it? What's that word? Five how do I say it? Like I don't know, five artwork that explains your platform in that sense. So that's all we needed to do. So we're ready to rock and roll before launch to have that application, and that's pretty much it. And we're going to be coming out with version 2, immediately. We're going to do that uh, more little enhancements that they're already working on. So version 2, all you need to do is it'll pop up and they'll just tell you to upgrade, and then once you upgrade, you'll see all the other enhancements on there. It's fairly very easy to track your movies and to connect your wallet and claim your tokens for it. So that's the good part, is that it's simple. It's simplified. It's not complicated to anyone who wanted to get into the watch to earn protocol. You know,
I think that's really nice. And then
yeah. That's
also,
Chiller right now on the screen. He's actually showing movies right now on our application.
yeah,
So, but yeah,
wow,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's really nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really nice. The fact that the app is ready and then we can see it work live, and then also, I like I said earlier, you've touched on almost everything, and at the moment, the stream wars is a little bit very fierce. We have like lots of streaming platforms pushing out premium content left and right. So it makes me think. Do you guys have say plans for you to create your own probably sponsor content creators to have content that are exclusive to to MetFX, and then only show it on your platform, because I feel this on the long run would go a long way for to retain users, and then keep them fixed. If you have say um you know say a movie that that is released probably monthly or something. Do you guys have plans
Oh
for that,
yeah,
or
totally,
probably it's
totally,
welcome?
100%. Number one is what's going to be the most one that could cause interest into MetaFX and that we could tackle, which becomes less money. Because to create a documentary, it's really the average cost is $1,000 per minute. So if we came out with a documentary, it would only cost us 60,000 versus coming out with your own TV series, kind of thing. And once we monetize through, rugged in the form of NFTs, that people could actually download, that I think people are going to be bullish to wanting to have. In return, we want to have our own original series. And like I said, I want to do everything that's going to pump this coin to the next level of market cap. And if we come out with a movie that's called Degenerates, which is really about this space, with traders and the things that we do and people trade. It's really funny. I've met so many interesting people, and we want to have that DAO kind of sense where people like would able to share their ideals and to form this movie called Degenerates. And I think if you come out with a series and the right script where it has that action, that love, that funniness to it, and the crazy things that we all experience, I think it's going to create noise. That there is a film about us as traders in this space. You hear the stories, you hear the most craziest stories. There was like one particular project that was out there, and uh, this guy who creates this project never ever met the guy who owned the wallet. It was like, you're to tell me that you dealt business with a guy that you never ever talked to, and the project gets rugged. Like, come on, man. Like, are we that stupid? Like, you sound that intelligent, but yet you're telling me that you never ever, telling the audience that you never ever talked to that person. It's just crazy. You hear these crazy stories. You hear stories of people who get kicked out of their own project. It just baffles me. um I see this pattern, and you see that, could it be greed, or is it because they made that mistake? And there's so much I hear, stories of just people who met in the crypto space and they're married. It's there's just so much stuff that goes on and so much content or storylines that you could have about the space. But like I said, it can bring noise to the project, and that's what it's all about. Is it's not like if I came out with a story of just your original action pack, yeah, that's cool, and I think we can do that a little bit later on. But when you start from the beginning, you wanna create that noise, and by coming out with your own original series that's about the crypto life. It's like that movie called Silicon Valley. What was Silicon Valley? That was another TV show, that caught a lot of attention in their user base because of Silicon Valley. And it was because people who were, engineers in that character, it was cool. It draw a lot of me at that time. I was, network engineer, and people were watching, that series. I think Silicon Valley, I think it was what it was called, and so that's what I mean by with the millions of people who are part of this big, gigantic crypto space that's constantly growing. When you come out with a TV series like that, it's going to draw some curiosity. And hopefully with that curiosity, it turns into conversion of people wanting to invest into the project and us being different. So I hope that answers your question in terms of what we want to do with this streaming application in terms of retaining, that user base, but also bringing more people. And who do we want? We want more crypto people to, come to invest into our project. You see what I'm saying? So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
That in itself, like the documentaries and the TV series and all of that, I mean, is going to be huge for brand recognition as far as MetFX goes as well. Like the more eyes you get on those things, the more eyes you're going to get on this project. If you don't mind, if I say a couple of words here really quick, I mean, from an investor's perspective, for instance, at the end of the day, and that's something that I really, truly like about this team is because, they're so focused as far as, from an investor's perspective. Because at the end of the day, when the investors' bags are growing, well, so is the project, and it's getting more and more successful, right? So for me personally, for a project to be successful or for me to consider it successful, three things have to come together, in alignment. And one of those is, the project has to be something that stands out from the rest of what is happening. It has to have a team that is capable and willing to put in the work behind it and get it to where it needs to go. And then also the community, right? And these guys have been absolutely amazing in putting all of those three together, putting them together in a sense that, most of the decisions that have been made are to ensure longevity of the project, to ensure sustainability of the project, to ensure brand recognition of the project, right? And I think personally, no financial advice, of course, but definitely do your research, look into this, and look at the detailed out plan that these guys are working with. It's a fully registered, full-blown company in the United States, for one. For two, the streaming licenses and everything are being obtained legally, So this is definitely a project that is here to stay, that is here to work on expanding more and more and more. And I mean, movies, there is a reason why there are so many movies created every day is because people watch them, everywhere. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you do, unless you don't have a TV or you live like an Amish person or whatever, you're going to watch movies, right? So why not watch movies in an application where you get paid to watch them instead of vice versa? So with that being said, even if not everybody that's going to be using the application is going to buy the project or whatever, it's still going to create more and more and more brand recognition, which meaning, from an investor's perspective, my bags are going to keep growing and growing. So truly, I believe, this is a project that if everything goes the way that it's supposed to go and everything goes according to plan, this could very well become, the next top 50 token in the near future, and you'd have to truly look at the plan, look at the team behind it, look at the community, the way that they're getting on board. Look at the fact that it is something groundbreaking. It is something revolutionary and innovative, to bring something new to the space. It's not just your next hype build token. Of course, hype is something that goes with every project, but at the same time, hype is not the only thing that these guys are building on. And therefore, that makes it sustainable long term. So definitely, when I'm looking into this project, I'm thinking long term, because there are certain projects that are going to stand out from the rest of them. We know in the BSC how these things go, like you got your projects that get a little hype and then they do a 10, 20x, and then, a week or 2 weeks later, they're dead because they had nothing to build on except hype. Versus, MetFX, they have the utility already. They're working night and day, to ensure that everything is ready to go at launch. And then, of course, keep building on top of that and keep expanding, keep innovating, keep adding more and more features to that utility that is a real world use case, and just continue to build on top of that. And I mean, from an investor perspective, it's a no-brainer to me. But definitely, guys, like put in a little bit of time, do your research, know what you're investing in, invest what you can afford to lose, of course. And, if what you're investing is significant to you, then the gains will be as well. But don't look at this as just like a meme coin that is being built on hype and hype alone, It's, like I said, I mean, it's planned to the teeth in every possible aspect, and definitely worth doing some research about.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Yeah,
Greg,
so
Greg,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I want to ask if Greg still have something to say. That's all from his own side.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that last part.
No, I was actually talking to Greg, my co-host. I just want to ask him if he has something to say in regards to what Alvin and Naeem have said so far. Oh, I guess he's having some issue with his connection. But before he comes back, Alvin, you've really said a lot, and Fame as well, Naeem as well. You guys have really said a lot as well in regards to MetFX. But I think he's back because I want to go quickly to the community because a lot of people are gonna be having questions, and I know that the fair launch is pretty close as well. Greg, do you want to say something before we go down to the community?
So yeah, so I think all of your responses from Alvin and Naeem, your responses have been on point. And I think the market favors the first entrance, and definitely MetaFX is the first in its category. And I feel the moment this project gets on centralized exchanges, that's just game over for for any other person trying to like implement your idea, because I'm very sure in the next 1-2 months you see projects springing up left and right, trying to copy the MedFX model. So yeah, so I think this is something to really look out for. Yeah, I think we can go to the community now, Caleb.
Yeah, and before we do that as well, Kimpachi, you want to say something as well to the team?
Nothing was. Hi there. Just something that I was just curious about something. When it get to this, it is already very hyped, right? Everybody knows about it now. But the duration of the movies. I was at the AMA yesterday when you did the movie thing. But it's okay, but how about the snippet form, right? How for the longer interaction, a movie is okay. You'll get ads and everything, but to get more people involvement of the community, uh, wouldn't it be better if you also have like a, let's say, a smaller screen time sort of thing where people can do the snippets just like a telegram reel or something like that, where something that is trending or something goes on and people just hop it or just view it multiple times without paying to the bigger communities that there are, telegram or something. I was just getting to this and I had something else too.
Alvin, or name, you got that? Name?
I'm sorry, I'm having some issues with Telegram for some reason. It's kind of lagging. Can you repeat that one more time, please?
Oh yeah, I was asking if there will be a platform where, except for the movie, where one can showcase their snippets, small form of movies, right, for a larger community interaction instead of ad focused one.
So snippage. So you're saying short films or for interaction? I think.
Just reels. Consider it as just like Telegram reels, a very small one, like 5-10 seconds thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that seems like a good ideal. Why not? You know, it's an ideal. It sounds good for interaction. I think, not too sure. I think Arnaya was actually talking about something that was sort of near that, um, where people can be whitelisted to participate into the Watch to Earn. And I get what you're saying is to have that interaction. I definitely like to hear more about your ideal about it, and let's see if we can implement that into into the community. Anything to keep interaction with the community is great. Whether if you're doing like quizzes about certain movies, watching the films together as a community, anything to do with bringing that buzz, for people to come into, our project, from other communities. So I definitely want to uh, maybe you and Naeem can talk about, let's having that implemented. Um, I definitely would want to talk more about that, and let's do it. It sounds like a good idea. Any ideal that people have, we're willing to listen and hear from you guys, what can be improved and things like that, and what can we do to bring more people to the project, and that's what I'm all about. Everything that I'm doing, um, that some of these ideals that we're gonna bring, it's all about getting more people to be invested into MetaFX. So if holding the community together by doing these snippets and things like that of these movie films and having community, interaction, you know, I get what you're saying. I think I'm grasping exactly what you're saying. Is showing those snippets in the chat room. So let's talk. You know, let's talk about that last, if you don't really mind, and how you see doing it, so that we can implement that into uh into our chat room, into the community.
Guys, also
Definitely, man.
one thing that I just kind of want to point out, and honestly, I want to applaud Alvin, the CEO of MetaFX. Honestly, he's treating this 100% like a business, and I mean, in a sense that he is one of those CEOs that doesn't necessarily stand there and thinks, oh, I got it all figured out and there's nothing that you can tell me to make this better or whatever. Like, he's one of the people that is willing to listen to his community, that is willing to listen to his investors, because at the end of the day, it is the masses that we're trying to cater this project to, right? So there's nothing wrong with, taking opinions from the masses as well. And he's been absolutely phenomenal at that. So, like I said, I take my hat off and applaud you for that, Alvin. Amazing.
Yeah. No.
Alvin, something else as well. I have heard a lot of your AMAs, to be honest, like at least 10. Something that I have missed, or maybe like in all of them, or couldn't just hear it, is that the rating system. Or once a person is done with the movie or have watched whatever is presented to him or her, there will be a rating system, right? So how you want to do it? Like, will you be doing your own rating system as in IMDb or Metacritic or something?
You know what? Because someone called my phone and it literally put my phone on low rather than on speaker. So I apologize about that. Could you repeat that again?
Sure. I have heard a lot of your AMAs. Just something that I've missed most of the time, I guess, is the rating system. Once a person is done, once he's through, has watched the complete movie or whatever part he is interested in, he will be able to rate, I think, right? He will have to give a review or a rating. So how do you want to approach this? You want to do something very linear or community-based like Metacritic or Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb? How do you want to approach this thing?
Well, I think, with one of the community members, I don't know if it was you, but have that interaction where people can actually kind of like, blog into it, whether if it could be certain, besides just giving the traditional 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, but actually commenting it, and giving their opinion, and probably could do it from, a live sense, but yeah, I think what you're talking about is having that Rotten Tomatoes kind of thing. I haven't really gone that far to even think about it, to be honest with you. All I know is that you have that part where you could only actually just comment, but put your stars on it, but nothing to that extent where if I understand by having their own platform like Rotten Tomatoes, is that what you're talking about? Or
No.
just in the application in itself?
Do you mean in a sense of like, if you just liked what you watched, and then in the sense that the application will like recommend similar movies that you can then pick out of? Or are you talking more of, like Alvin said, like a outside, sort of rating system? Or are you just talking like in an individual sense, where you can watch a movie and then in the end, like you'll ask the question as far as like, did you like this title, or would you like to see similar movies? Or in which sense are you talking about?
What I'm saying is you have your own community here, right? You're trying to build your own metaverse. People that are coming here are exactly not the people that will be rating. They are not exactly what you can say a critic, right? So most of the people that are here are sort of more of neo-gen, right? They won't be of, you can say in general that they will be of Gen X or Gen Z. So when these people do the rating, it will be similar to taste, right? Let's say I watched a movie and it did a 4-star rating. More people keep rating it that in that way, and you will have your own rating when the person comes on a platform. I have seen the website, so it has all the movies from different genres and everything. So if you add your own rating to it as well, like this is how the people on our platform have rated this after so many views or something. Like say 100 people have voted and they have rated it as 3.4 or 3.5. A person coming to a platform would know that this crypto community or this metaverse community is liking the movie in this way, right? So I think that is how you want to sell the product as well. So assuming the audience that are interacting might want to see the reception of how the others have vouched or viewed this as. That is what I was trying to go
Mm. Yeah. No. I think it's important. I think that's why they have those ratings. That's why I think when you buy a specific product, you want to see, other users, feedback. It is kind of like interaction. Especially when, comes down to your community. If they're using the application, they watch, they comment and all that stuff. Yeah, so for sure. Um, I'll talk to the devs about implementing, not just having the stars, but be able to comment on it. You know, that's what I see in terms of what you're saying. But yeah, most definitely. I just don't know how it's gonna look, on the application, seeing, a lot of those commenting stuff and things, so we'll see. We'll definitely, talk about that and take that idea, but it does, it does create that social aspect on it, you know. I think they already do that already with I think with Amazon Prime, right? People were able to, comment on the in the movie that they watched. You know, am I getting this right, or I'm going brain dead?
No, you are there. You're exactly there. That is what I was
Yeah,
saying. It's something like Netflix and all that. They actually have their own rating, how the people are viewing it, how the people on the platform think the thing is like. Because there's similar things, and people that come on the platform have sort of a similar mindset in a way. At least if they search for a genre, if it would have been searched by the same genre of people, because they would have searched the same thing. If I'm searching for dark comedy and I'm being suggested dark comedy, people who would have watched it would have liked dark comedy. That's why they search for it or have watched it. So I'll get a rating based on how people have viewed it. So that is how it would promote. A movie that is good would get a better reception. All that. Thank you for considering all that. I'm already taking a lot of time. People are there waiting. Thank you
yeah,
for
yeah,
talking to me about this. Thank you so much.
yeah. I think
Thanks. For,
there was something that
go,
was similar
go
to
ahead.
what Arnaya was talking about. Um, it was kind of tricky. It's when people who actually watched the movie who commented that that they would actually get tokens, for commenting, that kind of stuff. So that was like another aspect of monetization on the movie, is that if you were to comment and able to rate, that you would get some tokens for that, just additional, so yeah, definitely, um, you know, I think that's it's the thing to do. I knew that was already on the table. I'm not even too sure yet, because I've been really busy and having the beta testers, and I've been, kind of testing it out myself too. Um, but yeah, I definitely want to explore that with having that on there, because I know that they're working on version 2 to upgrade the system and to give it other enhancements. But yeah, for sure, it's people like to blog, people like to comment, people like to express uh, themselves, or things that they bought from, like from Amazon or from a marketplace. People like to comment. They want to give people, their own 2 cents of experience, um, when it comes to movies or buying things online. So I think it's cool. I read through comments, and I look at the stars, and I like to see what people, say about a particular movie or a particular product, especially when I'm buying products online. So I think it brings that you know um user, part of the user experience, that I'm able to do this, not just to watch, but I can actually interact with the system in a way where I can, express my feelings about the movie. So I think we need to do that, as soon as possible, with version 2. So I'm definitely taking notes on that one. So I think it's a must have to have. And is it hard for us to implement that? No, not at all. I think a lot of the things that we wanted to do, um, we couldn't really do because of the time and everything. So we'll have that in version 2 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a process and something that.
I'll be right back. Yay. So, Schiller, I guess while we're answering the community's questions, can you play the metaverse? Do you still have access on that?
All right,
Sh-
copy, copy.
yeah, like just you actually logging in to it, not just playing the video, but you actually logging into it and moving around. So at least we could show the viewers of what we're trying to vision here with watching movies and actually having AMAs in the metaverse.
Yeah. So I think it's time for us to move on to questions.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's get a question from, let's say, um, Joel. Joel, you're muted.
Hey guys, what's up? Hello guys, I'm audible.
Hey, how
Yeah,
you
go
doing?
ahead.
Yeah, I'm good. What's up? Okay. Um, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah. Um, let me just go straight to my question. Yeah. So, I just want to know about cause I went to your website and my question is basically about the app. Yeah. So, I just want to know, is there a uh a maximum time, yeah, a time that, like, is there a limit that we can stop watching the videos to end, like, can we just keep watching the videos and keep earning every day, or there's a particular time, like there's a amount of limit of time that we can watch videos, like watch like two a day or as much videos as we want? You get the question?
Yeah. We only capped it out about 6 hours, to prevent people trying to game the system. You know, whether people are trying to do, running 100 emulators and things like that, and um, that part, you know, is that people going to try to gamify it, and the thing is that you can't. You only could watch only 6 hours that you're gonna actually can get paid for. Um, Not something that you could do 24/7, because we know who really does that. Only if they're going to try to gamify it. It doesn't prevent you from watching more movies. It's just that you're only going to get paid up to 6 hours of watching movies. So, a lot of people have that question is, well, Alvin, how are you gonna, prevent it from being gamified? People could run like 100 emulators. Number one is, it's one user per one person who can participate into the watch to earn. You're only going to be accountable for that. But can you have up to like 5 devices, 10 devices in the house to watch movies for free? Yeah, sure. But if you wanted to try to gamify it by running 100 counts, that means you'd have to buy 100 NFTs. And then at the same time, you're going to have to use proxy servers so that the system doesn't catch you from trying to game it. But at the same time, it's expensive if you're going to stream that to try to make extra more money. it won't allow you to do so. It's really expensive to set that up with setting up emulators, but buying NFTs, and then at the same time, you're gonna have to use proxies to do that, and you're gonna need like 100 wallets to do that. So you really can't gamify our system. You can make the attempt to, but once you've done your first round thinking that, oh man, I made some serious money, you're gonna come out negative because of that bill that's gonna get you, proxy server, bandwidth, internet bandwidth that you're gonna use, NFTs that you have to purchase. So, but to answer directly to your question, no, you only can watch 6 hours per day.
Um, okay, yeah, thanks for clarifying that. And uh, also, first of all, Caleb, do you mind if I have to clarify something, if you don't mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, also, I wanted to clarify this. I went to your website and I read that MetaFX can be used to participate in both official and users organized events in MetaFX. Like I read in that MetaFX, I read that MetaFX can be used to participate in both official and users organized events in MetaFX. So I just want you to elaborate more on those two type of events, and also what kind of events will be available on MetaFX. And lastly, what are the benefits of participating, and are these events related to the governance?
I think what we're talking about here is really the metaverse. Just with some of the things that we're creating, in our metaverse. Whether it has to come to, the private setting rooms of having your own room, um, building things, buying land, uh, things of those kind of stuff, and just the things that we're building in terms of that entertainment, aspect. If we're talking about the same, subject here, but I think what you're talking about, it all has to do with the metaverse and how people participate and what other governance that we're going to have. I think governance is a good thing, especially when it comes down to um, what are going to be the next steps for that ecosystem in terms of like I wanted people to participate into helping develop the films, you know, um, and actually have people share their stories and sharing their advice as the way that I think the way that Last did, you know, we take those ideals and we vote them for the ecosystem, just only to a certain extent, because when it comes down to which movies are going to be morally highly played, are we going to have more Korean movies? Which Korean movies in a particular region may not be so appealing. So unless they have those analytic backgrounds and know the movie industry and knowing the geographic of the people and the statistics of what people watch, majority, then if they have that experience, then great. But if they don't, then we have to um, we that's why I have my account manager and that team who gives us those movies of when it comes down to a particular region. He goes, this particular region, this is what they watch. They watch Korean movies, they watch anime, and they watch um, they watch Western movies. Why do they want to watch more of the Western movies? It's because the people who work at call centers, they want to learn more, better English. So they tend to watch more Western movies. It's fascinating how just even in the Philippines, a lot of people have to speak pretty good English out there. And maybe because it's the movies that they watch, who knows? But I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. So, thanks for clarifying my question, and also
Yeah.
Caleb, thanks for the great opportunity. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Let's move on. T-Rex, you're muted.
Yeah. Hey, Caleb.
Hey, buddy.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Ask a
Yeah.
question.
Alvin. Yes, I have to say this is a very, very brilliant project you're working on. I think I was in your last AME, and this is even better than that. The where my concern is personally, you know, we know how capital intensive it is to build a metaverse. So I'm just wondering how you guys plan to get your alternate sources of funding. You know, I was going through your website and I saw that you guys have just about 15.5%, I think, yeah, pegged for actual liquidity raised from private sales and pre-sales. And I see you have another 5% going into the liquidity. And personally, I think that would kind of make your LP smaller. You know, say your vested tokens. Say your team decide to sell the vested tokens. I feel the amount you have would actually make your LP smaller. So which would in turn bring your LP. So and then you guys have prices for streaming and other payouts from the team. So basically, what I am trying to get at is how would MetaFX get extra funding and liquidity to keep this project going, because as you've said, right, this isn't a fast trying to get 5x or 10x project. This is something you are planning for the long term. So what are your plans to get extra funding, to keep this project running?
Well, now it comes to, we're talking about monetization here. So what our team is already beginning. Brian is already, he really works on the back end. He's really never on the forefront. He's like one of those kind of guys that you just tell me what needs to happen. He's actually my business partner in our other businesses. So, monetization is really, really important in terms of, the ecosystem. And I think we touched upon how you have to cut out the middleman. You have to cut out the middleman. And this is why we're going into the Philippines, so that we can cut up the middleman. When you can actually concentrate in one area and you could onboard local companies that can actually advertise, because if you're targeting a particular country, you don't want to put advertising that may or may not interest or relate to them, and they do, they do have the adverts that other companies will sign up, through that third party who has that that the marketing part to stream their content of whatever they're selling their service through so many different areas. But what we want to do is we want to grasp the local market in terms of businesses, like, let's say in the Philippines, like, it could be Jollibee, it could be BDO Bank, it could be it could be Lazada, you know, um, it could just be various things, franchises, their specials and all that, and we're gonna make more money by doing so. But we could already sustain ourselves just because of the advertising of it brings, and then you have the NFT platform, the NFTs. Um, you know, that generates income, especially when we bring on board you know these third party creators. I'm already talking to one company, one group who wants to sell their NFTs, on MetFX. They actually come from the movie industry. One of them is actually an OG, rapper who rapped with, Tupac Shakur. They came out with their own they came out with their own NFTs. I definitely going to come out with our own NFT series that would have that utility to it. So when you talk about NFTs and you know how to build a hype around it, the platform will generate income no matter what. Think about it. If what do most NFT projects can make? They make tremendous a lot of money. I mean, I almost fell off the chair when Moonbirds had zero website. Think about it. These guys had zero website. The only thing they had was Twitter and Discord, and people were buying their NFTs for 40 ETH. So if I had to really dig down deep, and come out with, NFT series or onboard other people who
Alvin?
It's muted.
Hey,
oh, I
Alvin,
got
you're muted, buddy.
oh snap. No, at the end of the day, it's all about how you monetize to keep the ecosystem, like paying really the bills and stuff. When you're a free streaming application, they don't really have that there in the Philippines. They don't, and so when we bring in the local news and we bring into the having the sports and stuff like that, um, and watching free movies, and that partnership that we want to establish, and I think that we're going to have it. We can just choose any telecommunication we want. Um, so people would be able to get discounts on their data if by having the MetFX application on their phone, they're going to gamify it. That means that people are going to download our application, and of course they're going to watch movies, and then from there, we're monetizing because of the advertising that's on there. But that's not also too, I talked about cutting out the middleman and onboarding the local businesses and local companies in that region in order to monetize even more, because advertising is a huge business. It's the way it's what fuels Facebook and YouTube. It fuels companies like Tubi and Pluto. Um, Advertising is huge and it's big money. It's not something that's cheap. What do they say in any and what is your biggest expense in crypto? Marketing. Marketing, 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 marketing. You come out with your own product, you have to spend on marketing. And so when we have that user base, more and more people start advertising, the more that we can charge and cut out that middleman to make more profits from the platform. And we believe that being in the Philippines and seeing the results of people wanting to participate, but also wanting to watch movies for free, we're going to monetize to that. So it's to your question. That's not the issue to fuel what we're building. Our metaverse that we built, it's built for the AMAs. So when we hold AMAs, imagine, I don't know if anybody knows how much Golem charges. They charge, it ain't peanuts either. I could assure you that. I could crunch numbers of how much Golem's making. I don't even know if I'm out of the box for even saying that. But I could tell you, I'm sure Caleb, what Golem's charges and what some of these call channels charge to have AMAs. They're monetizing big, right? Cal, they are monetizing big, and so that itself, by holding the AMA, that can help build our metaverse even more by using those funds. And I've already said that. If I already told the crew that whatever funds that we earn from that is going to help build and sustain our metaverse. It didn't cost us that much to keep up, the bill for that, because it's not the part where it's going to be expensive is when we start hosting the movies in the metaverse. That's that part. But we already knew which we were going to attack first, which was to host those AMAs so that funding can come in and actually pay for all of that without us having to come out the pocket. Having the NFT platform, does it really cost anything? It's a website. It's just manpower to just onboard, and it's not that much manpower to maintain that, because we're going into a niche section. Now we're talking about the actual platform in itself, where we're, going through the movies and things like that, and the movie selection. That's not that much to do that. One person was able to load 100 movies within, I don't know, 30 minutes. And then our developers actually creating an automation system where it would automatically do that for us. We just click on what movies we want. It gets imported into the system. They'll have that part. Well, we don't want this movie's going out, and these movies are coming in. Done. So if you ask the manpower and stuff like that with our ecosystem, it's not going to cost that much at all to maintain it. It's the one that becomes expensive is actually the licensings for the movies, but we taken care of that through advertising. And then when we get to the point of doing, when we get to the point to the subscription base, that's tremendous money. Because even if people who do the subscription and then we only charge $2, let's say $2, in Southwest Asia, people won't even notice that on their credit card. So that's another business model that I actually learned from Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness was like, it's so cheap to work out that even if you didn't go to the gym, you didn't have to really cancel your subscription. Your mind said, "Oh, that's nothing. I'll get back to the gym in 4 months." But if you played one of the subscriptions that you're paying $100, oh well, then of course you're gonna get that cancellation rate. So even though as humans, when we're watching movies, not all the time that we watch more movies, but you wouldn't even notice it on your credit card that you're being charged. It's part of your daily bills. It's like you have to pay your gas bill. You know what I mean? You have to pay your rent, or you got to pay the water bill. It's all part of it. And like I said, movies is part of us. So, once we get into the subscription-based part of it, we're going to be monetizing even more. We'll keep the lights open and pay for staff.
T-Rex? Okay, I think we're gonna say that answer this question. Yeah, we can hear you now. Okay, I guess it's having a connection with this service. So let's move on to Crypto Miguel. Hey brother, how you doing?
Yo, Caleb, how you doing, buddy? All good.
I'm doing good. Good to have you, or good to see you today.
Thank you, man. I couldn't miss that, right? It's metaverse related, so.
Yeah, man.
All right, Alvin, I do have a question related to everything you guys been saying. First and foremost, great project you guys got here. Really, really, really awesome. I love it. Absolutely love it. Especially that I'm also involved in metaverse related projects, because we're building bridges between various digital universes. So this is extremely, extremely interesting to our project. Alvin, my question is the token. I know from what you guys were saying in while I was asking in the messages that the token has utility for the NFTs. Is there any further utility you guys are thinking on adding to the token?
Well, I mean, as far as the utility goes in terms of like the NFT platform and that whole entire reward system, it all depends on, when it comes down to, the metaverse, and how that token could actually, be used, and that's something that we're going to, because once we start winning off from tokens and going more into like the BUS kind of like rewards, because our goal is to share those profits with the people who are involved in the watch to earn. But as far as the utilities goes, as far as how that token is actually going to be used, for our own purpose, that, build, whether if it's going to be, our own things that you buy from our NFT platform. For instance, if you were, you have your own avatar. I wish Schiller could, show some of the things that we have, but you're going to have your own backpack. You can add attributes to your backpack, whether you purchase a car and you're going to have a couple of buddies that you're going to have in there, and you're going to be driving to movies. Can a person buy a backpack or a jetpack in order for them to not walk? Because it is almost like real life kind of sense when you're traveling in the metaverse the way that we have set it up. So can you, get from one destination to another destination without running? You purchase a jetpack. So there's things that we have where you can actually purchase things with using the native token. But when it comes down to like third party content creators, if I had a party in the, metaverse, and they were throwing a party, they were selling tickets or whatever, and they were trying to buy with native token, and then all of a sudden there was a big dip, or there was a dip that happened, I would hate for him to promote everything that he did to promote this one event in the metaverse, and the tokens, at that price really dipped into his profit, so he doesn't monetize. So then that's where, we do that whole entire multi-chain, where they can actually have those third party to have it more on a more stable currency. But going back to your question, that would probably only be it until we come up with more ideas, because we really don't have staking into our platform because of the watch to earn part of it. But I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that answered my question. That was brilliant. Also, in your metaverse, do you will you be actually selling the space, like the parcels and things like that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. We want to get into it. We want to stay niche, right? We want to stay niche into it. We'll decide on whether or not how big of a metaverse that we want to build, where people can actually, purchase land. I think it's bullish when it comes down to land selling, because our ideal was to use the native token in order to purchase that land, which
exactly
help builds the liquidity pool, and you get new floors and things like that. Now, will it be for business only? Can you have businesses? Can we make it more into things that are more into the Hollywood industry? Because in Hollywood and in the movie industry, what are the other things that comes with it? It comes with fashion, and it comes with music. And those are like the three combinations. And so how can we keep everything making things make sense similar? Do we want to sell land where people can build houses and things like that? Maybe. They do it in Hollywood. There's Hollywood and they have like Beverly Hills and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to think more, but the reason why we want to keep things really, really niche. If I wanted to partner up with another project where if we're both on the same Unity platform and we can portal, which we have that portalization, and we're going to fix that. I want people where they can walk through. We just wanted to show people that you can keep things privacy by having your own private keys. So if you watch the demo of our metaverse, you can actually punch keys in to set where people can't go into your building without your authorization, or your store that you may build in our metaverse that relates to this whole thing that we're building, that comes with fashion, music, and movies. So, when it comes down to what you were talking about as far as land, the only thing that we have to think about really is, are we going to start building, houses where people can live? It's something I'm going to think about, because I don't want to compete with other metaverses. I want to be that joint metaverse that where we have that niche that doesn't conflict with whatever they're doing. And so I want to partner up with other metaverses that are built on the same engine, in order that we can portal into their world and their people can portal into our world without having that kind of competition kind of sense, because that would be really a good partnership. I don't know if I don't know if Sandbox and Decentraland could actually be partners, but I know for sure that if I play that niche area, I can partner up with Sandbox. I can partner up with Decentraland, unless they decide that they're gonna build something like what we're building, watching movies in the metaverse, and that's what we want to concentrate, is putting a lot of effort on building that, not quantity, but having that quality aspect to it, that it could be almost um, a milestone for someone to wanting to build something what we want to build. I hope that makes sense.
Beautiful. Yeah, makes total sense. Total. The project that I'm in, we're actually our focus is not on a metaverse, not on creating our own metaverse, even knowing we are building and offering our own digital world. We are more focused on creating bridges between digital worlds. So we already got presence in Decentraland, in Somnium Space, in Crypto Voxels. We already done events with South by Southwest, Miami NFT Week with Grant Cardone and Mark Cuban. We've done Wiz Khalifa massive event in our arena, and it's really interesting what you guys are doing. Definitely. We will be. I'm pretty sure we can help each other, Alvin.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. In fact, when you talk about artists and things like that, there's also another project that I'm very close with, the devs teams over there. And it's funny how you said, Wiz Khalifa. These guys are coming out with their song called the Ten Commandments. They also have a famous, artist on that team who's going to be, having Tory Lanez going to be doing music, and I.
You muted. Someone. There you go.
Who got Alvin muted?
No, I don't know. It's all good. But we'll talk about that a little bit more. And your name is on here. Who is that?
I'm Crypto Miguel.
Miguel.
I actually send you a DM. I think we can help each other quite a lot. It was very interesting what you guys are doing here. Congratulations to your achievement. Is brilliant. I've got no further questions. Thank you, Alvin.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Miguel. Good to see you again, buddy. I think we'll just get.
I couldn't miss this one, brother.
Yeah, I know, right? So I think we'll just get one more question, and because I know the team will have to go get prepared for their fair lunch in few minutes. So let us get a question from Yummy. Yummy, you're muted.
Yeah. Hi, Caleb.
Hey, buddy, how
Okay.
you doing?
Very good. Thank you. All right. So I have been, my question is that, well, I'm concerned about how the content will be stored on Metaverse. I mean, we have art platforms, I mean, centralized platforms that eventually bring down content on their servers due to complaints. And then considering the fact that your platform is content intensive, so I don't know, how will you be hosting all this content and at the same time you'll be staying fully decentralized? To get my question?
Me, it's not really you. It's me being up for 20. I think I'm going on 27 hours now. So what is it that you're concerned? You said it was what part was um
All right, so basically what I was saying is that like considering the fact that this project is content intensive, I mean you're going to be uploading a lot of content, videos and all. So I want to understand how you'll be hosting all this large, I mean the content while staying fully centralized. I mean considering the fact that other platforms, other centralized platforms have brought down their content due to server complaints.
well, I guess when it comes to, it is content. Um, you know, it it is content intensive in terms of the data that's coming that's going out from our platform. So it really comes down to, different technologies on to not having to hit our servers, but to hit, edge servers, cache servers, moving on to having our own servers and building within our own network, rather than hosting it, on AWS or Cloudflare. So, when it comes to that, we have to build our own, and our own internal servers, especially why should, uh, you know, if you need to localize your servers, especially the way that we're targeting specific geographic, rather than having to traverse that video content from a certain distance would actually cost money. You know what I mean? So we have that plan to localize everything through cache servers. So instead of going directly to the server, you should be able to hit our cache servers, which is a lot more, way cheaper than hitting directly to the back end. And so, that part I hope answers your question. Now, content, yes, does it cost a lot of money to content, to show content? But it's really up to us in order for us to we better learn how to monetize, because if we can't even figure that out part, we shouldn't even be in this game. So you always have to, that's why you have to have that strict budget, and that strict financing, and not splurging so much money. But you got to have an ecosystem that's going to generate income in order to keep the ecosystem. I like to I do certain things in certain businesses where, okay, I come up with my own product. We're going to sell this line of product, and that's going to be strictly that's going to pay for that for our staff and our employees in the Philippines. So this is why I said when we host AMAs, I'm going to be generating income, and we already know the numbers of how much we can generate on that in order to build or to pay off the bills where we become more profitable. Does it cost that much to host an AMA in the metaverse? Not at all. Not. It's really on. We have that on our own servers too. By the way, but no, it doesn't really cost us that much to do that. But to further building the metaverse, we want to use that money to actually pay for that service. Now, I could run some figures on how much certain group. Well, I don't want to get into that about what certain groups cost, but it does cost money in this game. It costs money to do AMAs with people, and we know how much money that you can make. But we want to use that money to help pay the bills. If that answers your question.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Caleb.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, thanks for that, Yomi. I think this is how far we can go. I know there are lots of people that still have more questions. The MetFX team are going to be opening their VC in a few minutes. You can join in, and if you still have more questions about the project or about the launch, feel free to join in and ask your question. But Alvin, I think this is how we're going to draw the curtain. It's really nice having you as well at Gold Digger. It's really a nice presentation, and also love the fact that you're being so transparent, and that alone it shows how how much you put in your passion on the project. And we're also expecting to look forward to what this project is going to be given to all our communities and investors as well in the future. But do you have any final words you want to say to the investors here before we put this to a close?
Well, I think we've said a lot. I think you guys know pretty much of just our platform and the direction that we're going towards to. Like I said, I definitely, appreciate, Caleb and, partnering with us and really supporting our project. And we just hope that the community, even, you may not, let's say you may not able to invest into, MetaFX, or you still kind of like have that reservations, but, just come on down and just, whenever you're ready to invest, and if you're ready to ape in, and go for it, because I could assure you that what we have in store for, MetaFX after we have our marketing team, and we definitely know how to bring the charts and get things pumping. We're immediately going to be going. We want to be on a centralized exchange right away, and I'm not talking about tier 2 and LDAP or whatever. We're looking to want to getting onto KuCoin, and I think that getting onto KuCoin is our goal here to be on. We don't want to continuously stay on the DEX. We want to go onto a centralized exchange, and we're ready to bring out more partnerships and bringing out our utility, more enhancement to it, given those extra layers to what we already built. So I want you to consider everything that what MetaFX is doing, and we want to be that token that changes people's lives. And I truly believe for myself that we can, based on the feedback that we've gotten from a lot of people, that we have that longevity. And so I hope that you learn a lot about me as a person, and also our team and what we're building here. So thank you so much, Caleb, for doing a second AMA, and with Gold Diggers, and I definitely want to help see your community continuously build too as well. So thank you so much, everybody, for listening in, and thank you for me being so tired. I do apologize, for that.
Yeah, I think I think that's understandable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just posted the Presale link as well, guys. The Presale is gonna be starting in a few minutes. Like we always say, do your own research, but you wanna check them out as well. And if you're ready to get involved, get involved. But if you still have more questions, maybe because you have more questions to get, just join into the Telegram channel, and feel free to go ask your question. I believe Alvin is always ready to get every question answered as well as the team. So I think this is how we are gonna draw this to a close. Thank you everyone for joining, and I'm gonna stop the recording right now.